One of the things that you have to do in a literary analysis paper is use quotes from the text to support your points. And when you do that, you have to cite those quotes. So today I'm going to show you how to cite those quotes that you're going to be using in your paper. This is a sample paragraph from another paper, and it's about a topic that you will recognize. So I'll read it to you, and then we'll talk about how the quote is being used and how it's cited. There is a definite change in Francis Macomber after he kills his buffalo. He showed unexpected happiness and courage. Macomber's face was shining. You know, something did happen to me, he said. I feel absolutely different. He says this after he kills his buffalo. He shows courage after this by saying that he wants to try another lion. So here we have our topic sentence. There's definite change in Francis Macomber after he kills his buffalo. And then a little bit of a lead-in and to the quote. So then here's our quote. And you notice that it's quote because it's got quotation marks at the beginning and at the end. And then there's a tricky secondary quoting thing going on in here. But before we talk about that, I want you to notice that this is your citation right here. So this is from a page 32, and there's no word page or letter P or anything like that. It's just the number. Also notice that the period comes after the citation. And then what this student is doing is explaining the quote after the quote is in. So it says, Macomber's face was shining. You know, something did happen to me. He said, I feel absolutely different. And then there's this description down here. There's this explanation. He shows courage by saying he wants to try for another lion. So there's a connection. There's an explanation of that quote. The other funky thing that's going on in here is just this little secondary quote. Whenever someone is talking in the story that already has quotation marks around it, you're going to continue to use those in your paper, but you have to turn them into singles. So you have doubles around the whole quoted material like this, and then wherever there used to be quotes, there are now single quotes. All right, so let's look at the whole paragraph. There is a definite change in Francis Macomber after he kills his buffalo. He showed unexpected happiness and courage. Macomber's face was shining. You know, something did happen to me, he said. I feel absolutely different. He says this after he kills his buffalo, and he shows courage after this by stating that he wants to try another lion. Now you have a connection between that and the next piece of the paragraph. This statement shocks everyone, especially Margaret. Margaret is nothing but negative towards Francis. You've gotten awfully brave awfully suddenly, his wife said contemptuously, but her contempt was not secure. She is very afraid of something. So you can see again that we have quotes on the outsides of both of the, or of the beginning and the end, and then we also have mini quotes, single quotes, around whatever had been quoted before. And then we have an explanation. Margaret covered her fear of change in her husband with negativity and bitterness, which comes as no surprise. Margaret seems to be consistently bitter and sarcastic with her husband. So this is your concluding sentence. This is a good example of a whole complete paragraph that has two quotes, and it has some explanation of each quote, and it's sandwiched between a topic sentence and a concluding sentence. Okay, one last thing to show you. When you have, when you're quoting something from a poem or a song, and you have to span more than one line, there's a specific way to do it. First of all, you have to number the lines of your song or your poem. That's why it's helpful to have a printed out copy, because then you can actually just take a pencil and number them all. So in this, this is Bohemian Rhapsody, in case you don't recognize it. Notice that this is 3 lines long, 36 to 38. So the way that you indicate a line break in the writing, so we have our quotation marks right here and right here, and then the way that you indicate a line break is with a space slash space. It has to have spaces on either side of the slash, otherwise it looks like it might be part of the quote. So that, my friends, is how you incorporate quotes and citations into your literary analysis paper.